Hello there.
Hello, hello.
Hey, hi. Dude, thanks for calling.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, definitely. I read the interview with Hunter and the rest of that issue as well. And yeah, I'm psyched that you guys are interested to interview me.
Yeah, for sure. So, just so you know, this is being recorded. Um,
Okay.
I, I will first transcribe it into print,
Hmm.
and I believe that your interview will be released in our July 1st edition.
Oh, cool. Yo, awesome. Dude, sick. Hmm. Is it just you handling like the whole interview and everything? Is there anybody else there?
Just me for the interview, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, cool. Yeah, down for the recording and the transcribing and all that. It's like you doing it, or you like using AI or anything?
No, I don't use AI.
Yo,
I just
hell
record
yes.
it, and then I type it out, old fashioned.
Oh yeah, dude, cool.
Yeah,
That's like hard work, Ryan. Fucking awesome of you. Thanks for putting this work in, man.
thank you. And then after it's released in print, we'll release the audio on the YouTube channel.
All right, sounds good.
Cool. So let's start easy. What is your name
Okay,
and where are you?
what am I? Okay,
Where are you?
where? Okay, my name is Alex Soveroski, and I am in Laramie, Wyoming.
What brought you there?
It was college essentially. I grew up in Cheyenne, which is an hour east of Laramie. Wyoming's a real small state, so uh, it's a pretty small, tight knit community. There's pretty much the one university in the state, and a lot of folks from all around end up going to college there after they graduate high school. So that's what took me to Laramie. And then after I graduated, I got an electrical engineering degree, which I kind of sometimes use, but I've found that it's not been so much of a money thing. I got into college on a good scholarship, so luckily I don't have any student debt or anything. But uh, yeah, I got that degree after high school and then stuck around in town because I had been to a few DIY shows at another local venue in town called Babe House. That's Haus, not House. It's like I guess maybe the Germanic spelling of it, maybe. But yeah, I'd been to Babe House a few times during college, and those were some of my fondest memories of college. And then the house I moved in right after college here in Laramie was laid out pretty much the exact same way as Babe House was, and uh, Babe House had to close their doors. I think the guys had moved and they had gotten various noise complaints and stuff. So um, I felt like trying to continue that like DIY venue flag and stuck around in Laramie after that. And the house is green, so we called it the Greenhouse. And that was back in like 2018, and stuff kind of snowballed since then. And yeah, I've stuck around ever since. I've kind of always enjoyed the outdoors and stuff. Growing up, my family made a point to kind of get out in nature and stuff in the summer times and heck in the winter times too, even. And I've come to really like appreciate the mountains and the lakes and stuff out here. So yeah, I've been in Wyoming almost all of my life, and Laramie for uh, close to half of it now, I guess. Wow, it's crazy to say that out loud.
So, what is the name of your project?
My music project, yeah, that's Yegarma. That's spelled Yegarma. I'm sure you'll transcribe that just fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah. It's I describe it like when I'm trying to get it across to people is just like experimental pop music,
Yeah.
and uh, yeah, that's the name of the project.
Is that primarily a solo project?
Yeah, primarily. It's been something I've been doing since like high school. I've always kind of had this push to, like make art and especially music. I uh, really found music to be like a solace growing up and stuff between like the difficulties socializing and difficulties at home. Who doesn't like know an artist who's got some sort of like stuff they're trying to get off their chest, but um, yeah, I've been making music since high school under that pseudonym, and it's pretty much a solo project, except for a little bit of my last album, The Lottery in Babylon. Um, that was put together with a band of like four people, including myself here in
Mm.
Laramie, and then I recorded the parts solo for that, and then toured with it with a band. So kind
Nice.
of a solo project, kind of bounces back and forth. Yeah.
And where did you go when you were on tour?
Tour, we went out just out to the West Coast. That was myself and three of my friends on that tour. And we hit up through Montana. There's a really cool DIY spot. Kirk's Grocery in, I don't think it's Bozeman. The It might be Billings. They've got a website and everything. It's called Kirk's Grocery. They have like an art gallery out front and everything too. But we hooked up through a few places in Montana, then went up to Seattle and went a little bit down the coast. We didn't go as far as California. We turned back at Portland and went through Boise, Idaho, and Salt Lake, and then back home to Wyoming for that tour.
Nice. And do you have any recordings?
Live recordings,
Live or album?
or in the studio. Yeah, totally. It's been kind of a bedroom studio project for a while, so I've got. I'm just trying to count them off on the top of my head. I think I've got like five, what I would call full length albums that I recorded and put together, and those are all available on my Bandcamp. That's yegarma.bandcamp.com,
Yeah.
and uh, and I've got there's a live album which was done with the first version of the band when the songs were still pretty young from my newest album, and we did get a recording of the show we played when we came back home from tour, and I've got all those files and I'm sitting around waiting to mix them. I'm currently working on a remix for this really sick electronic. I don't know if I'd call them electronic band. They're like an everything genre band. They're called Handfruit. Working on a remix for them, and then when I'm finished with that, I'm gonna really crack down on mixing that live recording. But uh, yeah, I've got a few EPs and like a single or two maybe that I've still got public, or maybe I've set them to private, all on the Bandcamp. And I'm also, the stuff's available streaming too on like Spotify and Apple Music, as far as I can tell. I don't use those services much myself, but yeah, I've got artist analytics, so it's going somewhere.
So, what sort of things do you write about in Yegarma? Like the content of the
Um,
lyrics?
yeah, that kind of varies a whole lot. Uh, with particularly the last album, there's a whole lot of grief wrapped up in that one. I had some family deaths right before I put out the album before that. That's in 2020. That album's called EX, and a lot of The Lottery in Babylon was written kind of processing a lot of that stuff, and processing a little bit of COVID too. 2020 was a crazy year for everybody,
Mm.
and everybody's got a different story to tell. But yeah, so yeah, a lot of the last album comes from like just needing to write songs about like my family and stuff like that. And uh, other than that, I kind of have tried to have somewhat of at least an aesthetic focus to each album. Lyrics can kind of vary and stuff. I feel like my music has so far been really it takes itself really seriously. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on a bunch of new material that's going to be solo and kind of before my previous album, which essentially is kind of a rock album. I've got like an acoustic guitar played through a bunch of effects and an amplifier, um, and like bass guitar and drums. But I've also got like synth in there, and I play viola on the recording. Um, but besides that album, a lot of Yegarma's output has been super duper electronic, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
And Yeah, so I kind of want to get back to that after having spent 3 to 5 years, depending on how you measure it, just playing acoustic guitar and stuff,
Right.
which I took a whole lot from that. And that I kind of purposefully wanted to do something totally different with that album. And now I'm getting back into some other stuff, and hopefully it's going to be a lot more lighthearted. I've started going to therapy and stuff, and I'm coming to terms with the idea that the dream of being uh, like a self-sustained musician is not super attainable. It's DIY stuff like this zine, or
Right.
DIY venues that like you've played a bunch in, I'm sure, and I've played a bunch in, and I've hosted a bunch of shows at DIY stuff, and like you have to have a day job and stuff. So I'm like working more seriously to like getting a solid job and stuff, and being able, like, I'm continuing with the Greenhouse Collective shows. That's no longer a house venue; it's a nonprofit, and uh, we're kind of without a venue. There's a whole story back to that too. Um, but
We can get
Yeah,
there
I'm
in a
finding a
bit.
better. Say again?
I just said we can get there in a bit.
Yeah, we can get there in a bit, but basically, I have been taking a while to kind of like center myself and kind of get a better perspective on like how hard I want to work and like what I'm getting out of like the art I'm making and what other folks are getting out of it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So different parts of that stimulated lots of different things in my mind.
Yeah,
Um,
cool.
one thing in particular was you say the lottery in Babylon.
Yeah, that's the name of the album I released in 2023.
Where did that come from?
The title of that?
Yes.
That's a short story by Jorge Luis Borges. Gosh, I always forget what country he's from. I think he's Argentinian or maybe Chilean.
I think
Uh,
he's Argentinian. I think.
Argentinian, cool. Yeah, possibly. Fact check me, please. But not now. Yeah, The Lottery in Babylon is one of his short stories from a compilation called Ficciones, which has been translated into quite a few languages, I think. Borges was writing in like the really early 20th century, so like 1900s and stuff, maybe the 1910 to 1920.
Right.
And um, I first read a book of poetry by him, and I was, poetry kind of like a bunch of it will not hit, and then one will kind of strike you really to your core and stuff. And Borges's poetry had a lot of stuff that struck me to my core.
Yeah.
And yeah, I read from there, and especially with the Lottery in Babylon, and maybe a little bit from my last album before that, EX. I've been trying to do more like put more literary influence into the stuff. Like in college, I really started listening to Joanna Newsom, and she, as far as I know, like puts a lot of like layers and stuff into her songwriting and the way all of her albums are presented and everything. And I took a lot of inspiration from that. So I kind of pepper in like references to maybe books I've read and stuff in some of my songs since like 2020. I've been trying to do that. And yeah, The Lottery in Babylon is a really cool story of Borges. I don't know if you've read any of his stuff,
I have not
but
actually.
oh, cool. I'd really recommend it. All of his stories are really short, and the cool thing about them is it's not so much plot driven as it's like, hey, here's a concept of like he was kind of like coming up with alternative universes and stuff way back before Marvel was doing it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, Lottery in Babylon, the story is about a society where essentially everything is determined by chance. Like there's no meritocracy. There's no, I guess there's no like bigotry or anything. It's just your your fate is determined by lots, and I thought that was pretty fitting to what I was feeling with what I was going through at the time of writing that album, and what maybe the world was going through, I guess.
Hmm.
And yeah, I wonder. I've been looking inward a whole lot on my music, and that's maybe kind of just because of like where I've been at in my life. You know, I feel like I owe it to some of the people who've passed away to kind of try to put my feelings together for them in like artistic form. You know,
Yeah.
and so yeah, especially on this new album, I'm hoping for it to be a little bit funnier, and I'm hoping for it to be a little bit more outward looking too, in terms of like content and all that.
Yeah. So, were you trained as a musician? Like, you have like
I
a teacher?
A little bit. I took viola lessons starting in like fourth grade up through I guess it would be 11th grade, and that wasn't like viola lessons. I just played in the school orchestra and stuff. And in senior year of high school, that was in 12th grade, I took like a music theory slash history course, which I think put a lot of like groundwork in my head for like musical exploration and all that. And yeah, besides the viola, kind of I learned covers and stuff on guitar and piano to kind of train myself in that sort of stuff. And yeah, just kind of went from there. I would like research I'd see a given sampler or something on like a live video of a band I enjoy or something, and like research this, that, or the other thing, and just yeah, I've kind of accumulated a kind of a musical knowledge just over the years and stuff, but no specific hardcore lessons, I guess. I really fall back a whole lot on like the quantized grid, you know,
Mm-hmm.
which goes quite a long way in making electronic music and stuff. And
For sure.
with the last album with T-Lib, as I think of it in my head, with that album, I didn't play to a click and stuff, and maybe that you can kind of hear that on the final recording. But I think that's kind of the charm of it. All of my albums, I think, I kind of like. I at least like to think of them as documents for me,
Yeah.
if nothing else, of like where I've been in my life and stuff like that.
Well, true definition of the word record.
Yeah, yeah, hell yeah. Who knows? Maybe that's what they were first thinking of when they came up with that term for it.
I must have been. I think in the early days, they used to just like make recordings of some random folk musician. And a folk
Yeah,
musician back then was like someone's uncle who would
yeah,
normally just grow turnips. And he just, this, you know, he just
yeah.
probably
They
never heard of
they'd
a
go
phone.
in, they'd go into the radio station
Yeah.
and hit record. Yeah,
Yeah.
record.
So, are you a writer? Like words?
Um, I guess I kind of like dabble a bit. I've like submitted stuff to a few local zines in Laramie, and I've like stuff's been uh, pseudonymously published and stuff, quote
Yeah.
unquote. You know, and so far as you call it, getting a zine published and all that. But uh, yeah, I guess I've got like a few spoken word like tracks on some of my older records and stuff, which maybe you'd count as like writing and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. But yeah, I draw occasionally too.
Yeah.
And I consider like the lyrics that I put down to my songs and stuff. That's like a type of writing, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah, so yeah, I do write, but I sure do enjoy a good novel, and
Yeah.
I marvel at like the stuff that authors do, you know,
Oh, for
with
sure.
that. I feel like literature. This might be a spicy hot take, but I think literature is like the highest art form, hands down.
Hmm.
And yeah, but I don't know. We can get into the weeds on that, but that's probably not here nor there.
It definitely requires a lot of planning and a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah, and
organizing.
it's a complete like, and I've had conversations up to this effect with like friends of mine too, and I think really it's just that all art forms are inherently different. Like a live, like you can't compare a live concert uh to Gravity's Rainbow or something.
No, of course not.
They're just like, yeah, it's apples and oranges, and
Well, music
yeah, and I think
involves,
especially
sorry,
go ahead.
music involves an element of the spontaneous. And you
Yeah,
can't,
totally.
it's very hard to do that with writing. I mean, you
Yeah.
can, like, if you're like a beat
Mhm.
poet or something,
Yeah,
but,
choose your own adventure or something.
right, yeah.
Yeah, but I think also like especially these days, and something I struggle with is getting glued to the screens and short form and long form video content, and just everything that I think is designed to just kind of like draw away your attention and
Right.
make it easier to sell you things. And
Hmm.
like boy, I grew up in like this time right before cell phone, like smartphones came around. It was like right in high school for me that like everybody started carrying like an iPhone in their pocket. And I remember back to like elementary school and middle school and just like the feeling of getting transported into like another world. Like it's kind of psychedelic. Like you lose your
Oh, yeah.
body and stuff when you really get drawn into a story and stuff like that. And it's good to do that these days, I think, as even maybe a form of resistance.
Well, I like think real writing, like a book,
Hmm.
is sort of a self-sorting mechanism for a certain kind of knowledge. Like you have to want the knowledge that's in the book. It's not going to be easily accessible. It's not going to be something you just watch. You have to
Hmm.
like go seek a book out and then open it up. And so for that reason, I think it's a great way to transmit like important secrets.
Yeah, totally. Uh, there's yeah. Yeah, I think you put it way better than I could. That's something I don't think about a whole lot, but
Yeah.
that's definitely that's true. And yeah, AI makes that statement that much more literal. Like
Oh yeah.
you can't very much tell what information is real when you see it on a screen now,
That's
and
right.
more power to the printed word. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, and the best AI could do is successfully scramble up a bunch of data to make it exactly literal. But
hmm,
AI cannot conceal an important secret or inference or
sure, yeah,
metaphor. You know.
yeah. Like I think the big thing with large language models is like they're trained to like make make a response that just seems true or sounds true. So
Yeah.
yeah, no chance they could like come up with a Hamming code or something or any sort of
Right.
code. Yeah.
Or like coherent allegory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like AI art is called AI slop for a reason. It's not particularly it's not generative literally. It's just coming up from like previous sources and stuff, and it's not saying anything new. I don't know if what like everybody's what all this hullabaloo about AI. I don't know if it's like it's just not there yet, and who
Right.
knows? It could get there. The future is not set, unlike the past.
I think it could be a fun oracle, like a magic eye.
Yeah,
Like it's sort
yeah,
of
totally.
like it chops up all the words and shakes them up and then
Hmm.
puts it out.
Yeah,
But I don't
there's
think it could
a
really have content.
a really good. Speaking of long form video content, I guess I'm a big fan of Autechre, the British electronic duo,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them, I think it was Sean, did a Twitch stream where he just answered questions from the chat, and I watched that on YouTube. And at some point in that Twitch stream, he says something about AI, and I think the way he puts it is he would prefer to have a simple algorithm. Like Autechre pretty much designs all of their like sound hard, or it's all software based, and they're writing all their own software, and they're writing the programs that generate the songs rather than writing the songs themselves.
Right.
And like I think it was Sean that like did this stream, but his opinion is like he would rather have a simple algorithm that generates something complex instead of a complex algorithm that would generate something real simple that he could do. And that's exactly what AI is. It's this really laborious, like they
True.
famously take up so much water to cool down the GPUs and stuff. And it's all to output something that's just trying to simulate a human response. And computers can be used so much more efficiently to make so much
That's
more
true.
interesting things and stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, it's all just like, I think the big thing is because artificial intelligence is new. I think there's just a lot of like Wall Street money getting funneled
Oh,
into it because it's the new thing, and they could potentially make a bunch of money because it's new. And it'll I think the bubble on large language models will burst. And this is coming from a true blue expert. You can take my word for it. Please don't. That was a joke.
well, you are an electrical engineer.
Yeah, that's true. I have used that a little bit for it's especially like helped me like make synth patches a lot more quicker than I would have otherwise. I can come up with a specific thing and be like, okay, I would use such and such LFO in such and such way, just because the
Nice.
language I think connects a whole lot in like electrical engineering to synth like patching and stuff.
Sure.
But also with live sound design, like that comes in there too. It's yeah, all things considered, for the deal I got on it, yeah, Wyoming, we're pretty much all oil money and stuff. And I think to maybe incentivize people staying in state, they have a really lucrative thing for in-state tuition.
Yeah.
And yeah, for I can't speak to how it is now. I think there's a whole lot of like really creepy stuff politically happening at this university and universities across this country. But back when I got the degree, I just kind of took it for what it was worth. And hell, I
Sure.
suppose if people still try to do that today, they can get out. But that's with anything in life. You get out what you put in. And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's with that.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's that. Yeah.
So, is there anything you'd like to promote?
Um, boy, oh boy, not like any big releases coming up on the horizon. I'm still like working on writing stuff and yeah, job and stuff, as I think I touched on a little bit before. That's taken up time too. But yeah, I'll pitch again my Bandcamp and stuff. That's I know streaming services are where everybody is, but probably not so much the audience for issues.
No, we're very
So
Bandcamp.
yeah. It's still wild to me that Epic Games bought Bandcamp, but it still seems to be like the best place to be sharing like music and be trying to make
If
a,
you're
a quote unquote living. You know?
if you're a true
Uh,
independent artist, it's
yeah,
it's among the best.
yeah. Like SoundCloud's good, but like they have the monthly fee and stuff for uploads and all that.
And they
Uh,
also, just as an issues thing, their website names are incoherent. It's a bunch of numbers and letters.
yeah, that's
Whereas
true. Yeah,
I love it when
yeah.
bands give me Bandcamp because it's just like the band name and
Dot
then
such and
bandcamp.com.
such dot dot dot
Yeah.
dot. Dot. Yeah. So yeah, the my Bandcamp is yegarma.bandcamp.com. It's
Yep.
I spelled that before. I'll
Good.
spell
Thank
it
you.
again, but I won't spell it here.
Okay.
And I'll also plug the Greenhouse Collective. That's the continuation of the house venue I started. That's our website's greenhouselaramie.com. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and it's it's been it's been coming a long ways, and hoping to still continue stuff there. But yeah, thanks so much for the time. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
I got two more questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
I always have a 3-question rundown. nowadays. Number
Oh,
two,
I guess also I'm thinking of another thing to plug. I can plug my Instagram handle, which is where I announce a lot of stuff and where
yeah,
I like might post stuff. That's my Instagram is at trash_hands. Uh, so
trash
sorry to interrupt you.
underscore
Trash_hands.
hands.
Yeah,
Okay,
not my band name. Maybe I'll change that handle over at some point, but Trash
it's a
Hands
good.
has been around for a while, and I think it's a fun name as far as handles go.
It's memorable.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Okay,
So
two
the
more
second last
questions.
question:
Cool.
what is most important?
Probably love. I say probably. I hedge my answer. But yeah, who knows what's most important? That's up to God if you believe in God. Uh, but from what I can tell, especially the stuff I've learned this last year and the last few years, it's loving yourself, um, and loving your community, loving your family, whatever that might look like,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, just yeah, love can be a lot of things, but that's it's again, I struggle with like a lot of the stuff, so uh, don't necessarily take me as a guru. Don't take anybody as a guru. Find your own way, but try to find love and try to love each other.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
All right, final question. Is there anything you were hoping I would ask you that I didn't? And if so, you can go now.
Okay, let me think here. Um, uh, no, I guess since it didn't come up, I guess I'll just say Yagarma doesn't mean anything. It's just the aesthetic of the word. Uh, there's no other language or something, and that's kind of why I chose like such a title. I
Mm.
just kind of wanted a phrase that kind of matched the aesthetic of the music that I want to make, if that makes sense. Uh,
Yeah.
so I wasn't like edging myself, hoping that would be asked, but that gets asked a lot. So that's some extra context, I suppose.
Well, then the definition of the word is the band's output.
Yeah, exactly. That's Yagarma, and that's kind of like the thing is like I don't think of myself as Yagarma when I'm on
Right.
stage. I think of the music as that, and I'm Alex. So
Nice.
yeah, that's what that is.
Well, Alex, thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. I
And if
much
you
enjoyed
would, sorry,
the talking. Yeah,
I
go
enjoyed
ahead.
it very much too. If you would, give me some photographs so that when I lay it out, I have things to put in there.
Hey, cool. Yeah, I'll do that. Maybe I'll send you uh band photos as well, besides just me solo.
That would be great.
Okay, yeah, cool. I'll send you the names of the folks too.
All right. And you're either going to be in July or August.
Dude, that
Uh,
sounds rad.
okay, great.
No rush. I'm just psyched for. Oh my god, I got interviewed. That's cool.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it was
Ryan.
great.
Yeah,
You're clearly
you
a
do
very
great work, man.
thoughtful person. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah. Are you still thinking of making the move up here to Laramie?
Oh yeah. Oh
Dude,
yes.
cool.
And as you know, I'll be in Laramie in July
Yeah.
on tour.
Yeah, I'm
So
getting ready for that too. That'll be a cool
yeah.
show. Tinder Dust is on that as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah, she's cool. She's from the UK. Has been living here for like off and on. She just got an artist visa, so I think she'll be here for a few years. Uh,
Nice. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, dude. This will be it'll be a cool time.
For sure.
Sick.
Have a great
Thanks for
night.
talking.
Yeah.
You
Thank
too,
you.
man. Happy weekend. Bye bye.
You too. You too. Bye.
Bye bye.